The appointment of a NATO special envoy to Ukraine is being discussed by the bloc's partners as part of a broad package of support for Kyiv. This was reported by the Foreign Policy, citing Western officials. According to them, he will coordinate military assistance to Ukraine from the bloc's countries. Such a step by the North Atlantic Alliance indicates more official support for Ukraine, the alliance said.
We are looking at ways to institutionalize some of the bilateral support that has flowed to Ukraine and put it into the NATO alliance to bring greater coherence to that assistance and to ensure that there is adequate burden sharing across the alliance in our collective support to Ukraine. Julianne Smith, United States Permanent Representative to NATO, in a comment to Defense News.
Another part of a broad package of measures to support Ukraine could have been a €100 billion aid fund for 5 years. But as Bloomberg News Agency reported, NATO allies did not support the initiative of the bloc's Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg.
I don't think that this NATO fund was needed at all, because there are bilateral relations, but they create a format of an organization which includes representatives who can block this assistance. Ukraine is now signing security treaties with many countries. They are bilateral, and this allows us to expand bilateral cooperation within the framework of these treaties without any intermediaries.
According to Brussels' new proposal, the alliance will be obligated to spend at least $43 billion a year to help Ukraine. Half of the amount would have to be provided by the US. NATO hopes that this will make the support for Kyiv more predictable. Western countries are also considering NATO to chair the contact group of Ukraine's defense instead of United States. More than 50 countries participate in its work.
We are now working in NATO on how to establish a NATO mission for Ukraine and also how to agree a long-term financial pledge to ensure that Ukraine gets the predictability and the accountability they need when it comes to military support from NATO allies to Ukraine.
Ahead of the NATO anniversary summit in Washington, Eastern European countries have insisted that Ukraine should still receive an official invitation to join the bloc, according to the Foreign Policy publication. However, the United States and Germany have so far blocked such a decision. At the same time, Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba believes that Ukraine's membership in NATO is a historical given.
Ukraine will be in the alliance because in today's world it is simply impossible to imagine the security of the Euro-Atlantic partnership without Ukraine and our army. Whether some people like it or not, this is the reality. Now we are preparing for this historic moment as much as possible. Dmytro Kuleba, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, in a comment to Ukrinform.
Slovak representative told the NATO Parliamentary Assembly that the allies in Washington must reaffirm their support for Kyiv enough to ensure Ukraine's victory, and in doing so, make it clear to Putin that his hopes of waiting out the West are futile. NATO's Washington summit will take place from July 9th to 11th. Among other things, the bloc's leaders will discuss the allocation of defense spending for NATO countries and the strengthening of air defense. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Христина Домбровська, UATV News.